I don't love photography. What I love is people. I love connecting with people one-on-one. That's what I truly enjoy. We got blindsided and we went down that path, and Becky and I realized that we are very unhappy. We aren't making that connection with our clients because it become about the money.
Hey, welcome to the Difference Maker podcast. And today we have Jeanine, but we have a very special treat. We also have Alex and Becky Hyman of Phil Hyman Portraits in Greenville, South Carolina. Now, this studio has been serving families for 54 years. And Alex literally grew up inside this studio. So today they run a portraits experience that is fully guided and finishes with heirloom wall art for their clients, not just a gallery link. And Alex and Becky, would you say that now guiding families through this entire experience from the very first call all the way to the design consultation has been the core reason that clients choose you over other photographers?
Yes, I would definitely say yes, because when they call or we talk with them, we walk them through the entire process and they don't have to think about anything. They don't have to worry about anything because we're always right there holding their hand and guiding them through the entire process.
Experience.
The experience.
It's now an experience. Good on you. Good on you, Becky. This is great.
I know.
Well, welcome to podcasting with Steve. You say a word and you're like, wait, no, I got to change my word.
Experience.
So this is great, Becky. Why do you feel like you had to sort of say experience rather than process?
Well, to me, it is an experience. It's not a process. It's not a step by step. I mean, even though we're guiding them through the steps, I mean, I want them to feel like they're coming to a place where they can be themselves and be relaxed. And with our help, be able to have something that they'll always hang on their walls. So it's an experience that they'll remember.
Is that something that shifted over time, do you think? Has it been like that for 54 years?
I mean, probably some, I don't know. But I mean, we've always had an experience. Maybe we've always called it a process. But, I mean, I feel like it's been an experience. We're very relational. And so we like to get to know the people that walks through our studio and we invite them in. It's like our home. We want to get to know them. So.
And I mean, because, oh gosh, we, like Becky said, we've always had this incredible relationship with our clients. Matter of fact, when Becky and we were dating, we would be in 2 states away and I would see a client and I would just start carrying on this conversation. And then a couple months later, we were in another city and saw another client and just.
I was like, who is this person that I'm dating? What is up with this?
She said, "Are you like famous? You know everyone." I'm like, "No, these are just our clients." And she was like, "Wow, you really do know them." Absolutely.
That's hilarious. That's one of the things that drives my daughter nuts about me. Everywhere we go, we run into somebody I know and she's like, oh.
I know, right?
But that's so funny. So that's interesting. It brings us to one of the questions we wanted to ask you guys. So specifically, Alex, you grew up in this business. And it's funny, before we started recording the podcast, we have some common friends that also grew up in their photography business. I grew up in my parents' business. I went the opposite way. Like I saw what my dad did. I'm like, nope. But you went towards what your dad did. So what did it actually look like as a kid? Like what drew you to this industry and doing what your father did as opposed to doing the opposite?
Boy, that is a good question. And, this is probably a horrible thing to say, but I don't love photography.
That's okay. That's not horrible.
What I love is people. I love connecting with people one-on-one. That's what I truly enjoy. So it wasn't photography that drew me to the business, but it was just seeing my dad interact with people and just seeing the people that he interacted with. And that made it, I just really loved that. I wanted that.
Well, we always say that we are in the business of people.
Absolutely. Yes.
And I think, as difference makers, this is, I think, the biggest difference is that realization that we're not in the business of photography. We're actually in the business of people. And photography is the vehicle that gives us access to people, that gives us access to building those relationships. So it kind of makes sense that you're drawn to photography because of that love of people. I love that. I love that. And so, Becky, you've been part of this business too. You were pretty much 18.
Yeah.
So, you grew up in this business too. I know you're only 25 now.
Yep, that's right. You're so right.
So you haven't had that much experience. Now, when I was 18, there was a thing called like a dark room and film and all this mystical, magical stuff. What did the studio look like when you first joined?
So, Phil was always on the cutting edge of technology, so he always didn't mind trying new things. Granted, with our black and white portraits, they still was in the dark room. Alex would still, you could smell, it was almost like salt and vinegar chips when you'd walk in. It smelled like that. But for the most part, Phil started proofing right after the session when I was there.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was doing it on a little computer screen and the Denny system, right? Is that what it was called?
The Jeanine Electrovision
Yep.
system.
So he was doing digital proofing before anybody else. So I jumped right in on it and he started me off answering the phone a little bit. He didn't really trust me that much being 18 years old, but he was training me. But then he had me carding negatives because we still did weddings back then. And so he looked at me and he was like, "Ooh, you're good at this. Card all of these." So that's what I did from the beginning.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, when I was a boy, we were using Kodak Prism. Did you hear of Kodak Prism systems back then?
Yes. We were one of the first users.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yes.
There you go. So, yeah, we were users. Well, I think it was out in America way before it came to Australia, but we were using Kodak Prism. And that was instant dual capturing back then.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, see, that was probably what, mid-90s?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, mid-90s. Yeah. I had hair back then. They were expensive. Like back then to set up a studio, just the Prism system, I think we paid $30,000 and then you needed the camera. And then there were people that had back screens and all sorts of things to create backgrounds. It was the silk screens, back projection and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, too much reminiscing. Too much reminiscing. So what excited you most about the next chapter, Becky? You started off and you're carding those wedding photos. What was that next chapter for you?
What really got me excited was when Phil decided he wanted to do all the retouching and artwork in-house, and he sent me. So I, for years and years and years, up until I still do it now, we send some of the stuff off, but I do all the artwork. So I went from there, and then honestly, it's just he integrated me into so many different things. He wanted me to learn how to do sales, and I love doing the sales here at the studio and being able to help our clients design all the artwork for their home. It's just neat to do that. I'm in the camera room with Alex, being able to connect with the clients so that it makes it easier when I come into the design reveal to actually, they trust me. So, and it makes it even more fun. So all of that excites me, but it's really the relationships. Over the years, I've got to know our clients and it's fun.
So have you always done same day design consultations or are you doing it now?
Yes.
Yep.
We did for a time kind of flip and got them to come back in, but really we're the most successful when we do same day. They're just excited. So, yeah.
And you're building that relationship while Phil's, well, Alex is, I'm getting caught between all the Haymans. And you're in the camera room building that relationship and then bringing that into the design consultation room, which is amazing. It's great. And same day.
So if you guys have always been doing the same day, like there's certain things that I have seen, like when studios pass from one generation to the next generation is bringing in some of the newer ideas and concepts. But you guys have been doing some of these things since day one because of the way your dad ran the studio. So when you stepped in really and started taking, over the oars, what did you feel hadn't been fully explored yet? Like, what were you excited to bring into the business?
For me personally, what I enjoyed and what probably a different angle I brought was marketing and business, because I really love and enjoy the business and marketing side of it. And also when the numbers, looking at the spreadsheet, and I will never forget, this was over 20 years ago, and we had wedding packages, and I looked at the wedding package, and so I broke them all down and figured time and and I showed my dad. I said, "We're getting rid of this wedding package right here." Wow, we can't do that. I'm like, "Yes, we can." I said, "Because we're paying the bride $40 for us to go photograph her wedding." And so he was like, "Oh, okay." Then that just kind of went on into when Becky was pregnant with our son, Philip.
This is what really got him excited.
Yes, this what really got me excited. And I said, "You know what? I've been going to weddings since I was 8 years old, carrying equipment, and my son's, he's going to be born, and I'm not going to spend every single weekend at a wedding." I said, "We're not going to do weddings."
Oh, that started a fire.
And
Wow.
yeah, that started a firestorm. But my dad, he said, "You know what? You show me a way that we can make money without weddings." He said, "We'll do it." So it took me 12 months, and we did our last wedding.
Wow.
Before the baby was born.
But matter of fact, yes, before our son was born, our son is now 18. We did our last wedding.
So you pretty much stopped booking weddings immediately, because, weddings are normally a year ahead. So you pretty much stopped booking weddings immediately.
Yeah. His mama wasn't happy.
So what was the secret? What made your dad okay with that?
I learned about silent auctions and in the community, and just getting involved in the community and being a part of these silent auctions. And those silent auctions in 1 year replaced the revenue that we brought in from weddings.
Through portraits. Is that right?
Through portraits, yes. And portraits is what we all really love, because it did give us that chance to really connect with people one-on-one.
Well, so many people talk about weddings and say it's a great place to connect. But I found portraits so much more meaningful. It was something they came in because they wanted to, not because they thought they had to when it came to a wedding.
Yep.
Well, I think it's interesting too, because I had a very similar, it's funny hearing you say it. I had the same switch because I started off in weddings. That's how I came into the industry. And when I was pregnant with my daughter, our common friend that we mentioned previously, Alex, I knew he grew up in a wedding business with his dad. And he always would tell me stories about he never saw his dad on the weekends, and his dad missed this, his dad missed that. And so when I was pregnant with her, I'm like, I'm never doing another wedding again. And so it was the same thing. I didn't want to miss her life growing up because my weekends were tied to weddings. And now here I am photographing portraits on Saturdays, but it's different. I can choose when I do and I don't do that.
Yep. It's controlled.
So that's interesting. Similar path right there.
So you've already sort of way ahead of your time by the sound of it, and on the cutting edge of everything. Have you always done discovery calls with your clients, but just never called it a discovery call?
No, we used to do in-person consultations. So we would have them come in and we'd show them the gallery and do in person and talk about pricing then and that sort of deal. So of course, society changes and they don't have time to come into the studio prior, and it's a lot of hard work to do that. It was hard to pull people in. And so we had to switch it to phone. We called them phone consultations. So instead of discovery calls.
In which we did that. We made that switch in 2019.
We did. I mean, we did it later on, but yeah.
So even though they came in, just your language sort of implied that it was more about showing them photos, showing them galleries and pricing, which I suppose I'm trying to get to what was the intention and what was the purpose of that? Is it the same as a discovery call? Do you feel? Did you get?
I
Yeah.
mean, we did in person to get to know them too. Obviously,
Mhm.
we would start off wanting to find out what they truly envisioned for their portraits and who they were going to include, and of course, it gave them an opportunity to see our portraits and then take them through and explain the experience, of what they was going to expect and to happen while they were there. I mean, obviously we was on the cutting edge of doing same day sales, so and people was not used to that. They were used to getting a stack of proofs. So we would tell them, "Hey, you're going to be able to see them right afterwards." And they're like, "What?" I mean, that was new to them. So it's just being able to explain all of that. So, I mean, I don't think our language has changed from back then to now. It's just over the phone. So we have to be a little bit more clearer because we're not showing them anything, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But probably to jump in on what you're saying there, one thing that we've noticed with design consultation or the phone call
Discovery call.
is discovery
Yes.
call. Yes, thank you, Steve. She don't let me out of the back, so
Oh,
it's
Lord.
hard for me to learn this language.
Uh-huh.
But no, one thing that we have to be more intentional in the conversation to draw that emotion out. Whereas when we were sitting down with them, it just naturally happened in conversation. So now I would say we're more intentional with the emotion.
When I was listening to you talk about it, Becky, it almost sounded like it was more about them understanding you
Mm,
and what you did.
mhm. Probably so.
For them to find out about what you did and for them to find out how you work,
Yes.
which is the opposite of a discovery call. It's about you. And I know that because I had a retail store. And so clients would walk in, we would get walk-ins all the time. And when they're coming in, part of that conversation, is who you're bringing. And we went through this as well. Who you bringing, how many people, let me show you something you might like. And we show them some photos. But a switch had to go off for us to realize that it was more about us discovering who they were and what they wanted. Because originally when we first started, it was all about, come in, let me show you what we do. Let me show you our process. Let me show you our work. This is what we do. And it it was a big sort of switch that went off to say, hang on a minute, it should be the reverse of that. Women should spend time finding out about you and your family, what matters to you. What are those things that you love about your child? So we know what we're capturing for you and what you want to celebrate. Anyway, now I'm turning this into a coaching session. Sorry about that. It's not what it's meant to be.
Wait, Steve, turn a conversation into a coaching session? That never happens, ever.
Bad boy. Bad boy.
So, Becky, when you made this switch, when that light bulb went off for you to switch from learning for them to figure out about you to you learning about them, how do you feel that elevated the entire experience for the client?
Well, I mean, I think it relaxes them completely because they love talking about their family and their children, and they feel like they're being heard and seen. You know, I mean, and so it's easier for them to get into a quick conversation with you over the phone if you want to know their kids, if you want to know what's important to them, instead of just blasting them with, "This is what we're all about." I mean, they want to know about us, but they feel more relaxed to talk to you if you're wanting to get to know them. So that's the big switch from in-person consultations to the discovery call. We had to change how we approached them in a conversation. And it was really easy for me because I'm relational. I like to get to know people. So it's really a natural thing for me to get on the phone and just start asking questions about their kids. or their family or their dog or whoever we're photographing or wanting to photograph.
So has there been one client that really sticks out that genuinely moved you, their story moved you, and because of, this interaction that you've had with them that, and I'm sure there's plenty because it sounds like wherever you go, you're meeting people that, you've built this incredible connection with. But does one stick to mind? Can you tell us a story?
Alan and Nicole.
Yeah.
That has been their son. He's 18. He just graduated high school. Well, the first time we ever met them, they literally come by our studio. He pulled in and he said, I need to do a family portrait. And we're like, right now? He's like, well, he said, no, we're just coming home from the hospital with our son. So maybe wait a few days. And it's, literally they were on the way home from the hospital with their son. And, matter of fact, you need to tell the backstory of that. But
well, he was a miracle, really. I mean, she
has MS.
She has MS, and she walks well, but she has to have help, and she has digestive issues, and so she has like they have pacemakers for hearts. This one's in her stomach to help her digest, and so the doctors told her she'd never have a baby, and to this day, she has 2 babies and she carried them full term, and they're both miracles and they're both great and they're both fine. But that was why she wanted this family portrait taken. And their story just warms my heart to be able to see these kids grow up and us be able, and literally they bring their kids to us every year and get wall portraits. I don't know where they put these portraits, but they get wall portraits of these babies. And it's just a neat story. And we've become really close friends with them. So, we've had dinners with them and we've gotten the kids together. And it's just one of those relationships that we strive for when it comes to our portrait family. We want to get to know them. Not everybody's going to allow that, but they did. And it's just been really great.
I love how you said your portrait family. I love it. And that whole story is just beautiful. I think sometimes too, I know even in our studio, when we were calling our VIP clients, our clients for life, a lot of my team would say, but they bought so much last time. Like, what are they going to buy if they come back? Because, all their walls are full. But it's not for us to decide that, is it?
That's right.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you said, I don't know where they put them all, because if somebody wants to come back every year and wants to update and wants to buy new wall art and surround themselves by the people that these miracles, and we've got to remember every child is a miracle. Every child is a miracle. And so everybody deserves that. That's just beautiful. I love it. Thank you for that. That's great.
So Alex, you guys have always been, from what you've said, it's the business of people for you. You've always, you stayed in the business after growing up in it because you love people. And Becky, you've said that the relationships have always drawn you into this business as well. How would you say that view changes like so many photographers, it's about the work and it's about the photography and it's all about the art. What would you say to that? Like, how has the relationship viewpoint that you guys have altered that view? And what would you say to photographers who are very much about it's just the art and not the relationship?
I think, photographers that where it's Ronan calls them the photographer's photographer.
Yeah, he loves to say that. He loves his double words.
Yes. A matter of fact, that's a word I've learned, the photographer's photographer. But that gets in the way. You may get a beautiful image, but it gets in the way sometimes of the relationship. And sometimes it even gets in the way of what the client is really looking for.
I know I tell potential clients all the time that, anybody can take your picture, We don't want to just take your picture and have it be a pretty picture. We want to tell your story, and we want it to me, ooze out of that portrait. We want their friends to see it and say, oh my goodness, that is just special, and that story just speaks through those portraits. I remember his dad used to always tell his clients, I don't want to just take a picture. I want to capture the spirit of your child, that personality, those features. And that's what I've always gravitated to. So it's just different. It feels different. So
That's amazing.
And if it's all right, I would love to tell just a real quick story, because we've always been this way up until 2018. And we were a part of a group they just it become about the money. It become about the growth and the money. And so really for a couple of years we got blindsided by that, and we went down that path, and Becky and I realized that we are very unhappy because we aren't making that connection with our clients, because it become about the money. And it's not about the money, it's about connecting. And we joined the difference maker, and that kind of brought us back to, no, it's about the heart. It's about the client and the experience.
And the money will come.
Yep.
Yes.
It will.
I think the one thing that I've learned in business is that when you take care of the people and you are you're client focused, the money will come. But when you're chasing the money and forget about the people, you're burning through clients, you're burning through leads, and you're burning the legacy and reputation of the business, because the focus is the money. And we are in the business. Photography, it took a long time for me to realize that we are in the business of people. We're in retail, really, and we're in the business of people. And so I love that, you are part of our community, because it's that heart, it's that true belief that it's the people that are important. That is what we want more photographers to realize, because the money will come. It should not be the focus. I love that story. So what does the future look like for you two? Because so many photographers are, you like, I've stopped looking because, they're so anxious about the future. I remember when you first joined, one of the things that you said to me was that you want to get your son to college and you want to build something for him.
Well, and that's funny you say that, because, paths do change for people. And our son, we got him to intern here for 2 summers ago.
Mm-hmm.
And up until last fall, he was all about business, and deep down, Becky and I knew, without ever saying anything to him, deep down, we knew this wasn't the right fit for him, but we wanted him to figure that out. And he did. So he's going to college, and he wants to be a high school history teacher.
Wow.
And that fits his personality. And that's okay, because, we're just going to continue. I will slow down, or I will stop doing what I'm doing as I'm falling back into the grave.
As long as I get to travel.
So, but
that's all I care about.
No, our goal is to travel more.
Yeah.
Now that our daughter's in high school and she's going to be going to college in a few years, we want to travel more, but at the same time, we want to keep doing what we're doing and just connecting with our clients, connecting with people, because we both truly enjoy it.
That's wonderful.
Well, that's great. Just take your clients on vacation travel with you and photograph them while you're off traveling.
That's right. Yes, absolutely.
We can definitely do that.
That is not a holiday.
We can make it a holiday.
One thing I wanted to ask, and because I was in the same position working with my wife when I was married to Mary, we worked together. You mentioned that Becky keeps you in the back room. Like, how does that work with your and yet I'm not sure that's so true because you seem to know everyone's names and you seem to know all their stories as well, Alex. How do those roles sort of work with you two?
He's not allowed to book anybody because we would be coming in at 6 o'clock in the morning and staying till 10 o'clock at night. So he's not allowed near the schedule, but he's allowed in front of the clients because he does a fabulous job.
But I am a recovering workaholic. I would work 24 hours if I could.
And he would say yes to everybody. So I'm his gatekeeper.
Well done.
And he's my gatekeeper too. He keeps me straight too.
But you know what though? Through our marriage and working here, because we have people tell us all the time, I could never work with my spouse. I could never imagine not working with my spouse.
How beautiful is this man?
I know, right?
But no, we are very much a team. Now there's some days here at the SIA, we're busy doing our own thing. We don't speak to each other. It's not because we're mad. And so we laugh, we get in the car and we're like, so how was your day, honey?
So good. So good.
So Steve, as it always happens, we are getting close to the end of our time. It goes by fast, doesn't it, Alex? And Becky, you have no idea. We always hit record and we're like 30 minutes flies by just like that. But we always like to leave on a practical note for our listeners so they can have some ideas and things to take away from listening to the podcast. So we have a couple of questions for you as we wrap things up. So yeah, I think you alluded to it when you talked about 2018, but it doesn't have to be this answer. It could be something else too. What is the single biggest shift in thinking that changed your business throughout the history of the business for you?
Keeping it simple and keeping our clients always in the forefront of everything we do.
So what's one thing every portrait photographer that may be listening should implement this week? What's your advice to them?
Signing up for the Difference Maker.
Wow. Why do you say that? We didn't even prompt you for that.
No, you didn't, but I will gladly tell everyone because the thing is, everything that y'all do inside the Difference Maker, it comes back to the client and the client experience. And that is the most important because if you're successful at having a great client experience in your studio, like you said, everything else will come. The money, all that will come. And it's the client experience. And I've never seen any place or anyone in the photography industry focus on that.
Yeah.
Like the Difference Maker does.
Well, the more we get to know you, the bigger compliment that is because, you've been doing this for so many years and, to have you part of our community is really a privilege. So thank you, both of you, for embracing people and building this incredible community that you have because it feels like it doesn't matter where you go in the world, you've got a friend.
Yeah.
Yep. That is true. I'm going to start singing Toy Story now, like you got a friend in me.
I was just thinking of that.
So, Jeanine, you're going to close by singing the Toy Story anthem?
No. Not if we don't want people to tune out before we get to the end. I am not. That is not my skill set.
So, close us out, Jeanine.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us and for opening up your hearts and your business to all of the listeners out there on our podcast. We love having you two as part of the community. I think you guys share as much as you learn. And I think that's fantastic because that's part of what I've always loved about being in the Difference Maker community is it is a community of friends and family where we share what we're learning and everybody grows together, all with the client focus in mind. Because we are in the business of people and we love being in community together. So thank you guys so much for joining us. And for those of you who are interested in joining us on the inside, there's a link below that you can click on. And so from all of us here today, thank you so much for joining us.
And thank you, Alex and Becky.
Thank you.
See you on the inside.
Thank you, everyone.